Today we're diving into something really interesting. A reason why all your health efforts might not be working the way you think they should. And it all comes down to something so simple: hydration, or more specifically, the lack of it. This could be the hidden key to your blood sugar. So let me ask you something. Does this sound familiar? You're doing everything right. I mean, you're dieting perfectly, you're following all the advice, but your numbers, they're just not budging. It's so frustrating, right? Well, it turns out you might be missing one huge piece of the puzzle. And the answer, it's something called the dried sponge effect. Now, I know it sounds a little strange, but stick with me. It's a super simple analogy that perfectly explains a really complex problem. A problem that could be happening inside your cells right now and totally wrecking all your hard work. All right, so let's get into it. Let's break down this whole dried sponge effect. To really get what's going on, we have to shift our thinking. It's not just about what you're putting in your body, it's about what your cells can actually take in. This science-y term for this is cellular dehydration. And look, it's really important to understand we're not talking about being stranded in a desert with no water. Not at all. We're talking about a tiny, minor level of dehydration. Just 3%, that's it. But that's enough to make your cell membranes get all rigid and, well, pretty much useless. So picture this. You've got a kitchen sponge, right? But it's been sitting out on the counter all day. It's totally dry, hard, and crusty. Now, what happens if you try to pour water on it? It just runs right off the sides, doesn't it? It can't soak up a thing. Well, your cells are doing the exact same thing. And here's where it connects directly to your blood sugar. Think of insulin as a delivery guy. His job is to deliver a package, glucose, to your cells so they can use it for energy. But if your cell is like that dry, crusty sponge, the door's locked shut. The cell wall is just too stiff to let the insulin in, so the glucose gets turned away and is just left hanging out on your bloodstream, and that is what causes high blood sugar. So you might be wondering, why is this such a common problem? Well, it's because our bodies are actually pretty bad at telling us when we're thirsty, especially as we get older. That thirst signal just isn't as reliable. Get this, the feeling of thirst can actually be delayed by up to 90 minutes. That means by the time your brain finally says, hey, you should probably get a drink, it's already too late. Your cells are already dehydrated. So here's the big takeaway from all this. It's a total reframe of the problem. Your blood sugar isn't just high because you ate a cookie. It's high because your cells are literally too dry to even accept the sugar from that cookie. It's a completely different way of looking at it, isn't it? So, we've established the problem. Our cells are like dried out sponges. The big question is, how do we fix it? How do we rehydrate that sponge? Well, it's not as simple as just chugging a gallon of tap water. You need a smarter, more strategic approach. And that's where something called the WTR Protocol comes in. This whole protocol is built on 3 really simple but really powerful rules. We're going to look at the quality of your water, the temperature of your water, and crucially, when you drink it. Let's dive into rule number 1. We're calling this the mineral key. Because think about it, to get water inside the cell, where it can actually do its job, you can't just shove it through the door. You need the right key to unlock it first. This is where we need to talk about what's called dead water. Sounds dramatic, I know, but most plain tap water, even bottled water, has been filtered so much that it's been stripped of the very minerals our bodies desperately need. You see, minerals like magnesium and potassium, they act like these tiny little electrical keys. They literally open up the cell door so water can get inside. The fix is super simple. Just add a few trace mineral drops to your water. All right, rule number 2, the temperature trap. And I gotta be honest, a lot of us are guilty of this one. We love ice-cold water, right? But it's actually working against you. When you drink super cold water, it makes your blood vessels constrict. They tighten up. This sends a stress signal to your body, and your cortisol levels spike. That's the last thing you want when you're trying to manage blood sugar. On the flip side, room temp or even warm water keeps everything open and relaxed, which helps insulin do its job much easier. On to our final and third rule, and for this one, I just want you to remember one number, 30. What's so special about 30? Let's find out. It's all about timing. This is what we call the pre-game timing. The rule is this: drink about 8 ounces of water exactly 30 minutes before you eat. Why? Because this little trick helps blunt that big glucose spike you usually get after a meal. It's a simple but powerful move. So, we've covered the why and the how. Now it's time for the what. Let's put all this together into a dead simple, actionable plan that you can start using literally today. This is your daily hydration schedule. Get ready to copy this down. Here's how your day is going to look. First thing, right when you wake up, 12 ounces of warm water with those minerals in it. That's your morning flush. Then you remember our pre-game rule. 30 minutes before every meal, you have 8 ounces of plain water. In between, maybe around 10:30 in the morning and 3:30 in the afternoon, just take a few bridge sips to keep things flowing. And then your final glass of the day comes about 2 hours after dinner. This is huge for preventing your blood from getting too thick while you sleep. Okay, before we finish up, I have one last thing for you, and this is really, really important. It's a warning, actually. This is a super common mistake that can completely undo all of this good work, so please listen up. And I know this one's going to be tough for some of you to hear, but it is absolutely critical. Coffee does not count as water. I repeat, coffee does not count. In fact, it does the opposite. It's a diuretic, which means it makes you lose water. It's a net negative. So by all means, enjoy your coffee, but just remember this: coffee borrows water. It doesn't give it. So I want to leave you with one final question to think about as you go through your day. Are you just drinking water, or are you actually hydrating your cells? Because after everything we've talked about today, you know there's a huge difference. It's all about getting that water where it truly needs to go.